What is up, fantasy drafters, and happy ho-ho holidays. I don't know if you can tell, but right now I've got my Christmas PJs on and I am super comfy and festive. This is your Fantasy Draft Girl Kay, covering more of your favorite sports topics, so let's get into it. Let's say you're a college football player and you're on your last year of eligibility and perhaps you're thinking about your future professional football career. You might have a bowl game left to play, but a few agents have contacted you and you want to start preparing for the next level. How do you choose an NFL agent that's right for you? Luckily for you, our producer has over 15 years of experience as a former certified NFL agent going through the NFL draft process and is providing you with important information that will help you find the right agent, focusing on the pre-draft process. First, we'll go over who needs an agent. Second, why do you need an agent? Third, what to expect from an agent in a pre-draft process. And four, finally, what questions to ask when deciding on an agent. First off, who needs an agent? Are you a top player that's been receiving messages and calls from a handful to a dozen of agents all season? Then you probably got all the information you need and just need help selecting the right fit for you if you haven't already decided on one. Or are you a borderline player that has only gotten interest from 3 or 4 agents, but you feel you have had a good career or solid last year and have a shot at the NFL? In both scenarios, you can definitely benefit from a good agent to help you with your career. In this episode, we will talk mostly about those players that fall in the second category. Because if you're a top player, then you've probably already had 3 to 4 meetings with agents over the summer and are close to narrowing down your choices. You can officially sign with an agent at any time after the completion of your very last collegiate game, not including any All-Stars games. If you got invited to an All-Star game, you don't have to wait until that game is over to sign with an agent. An agent can even help you get into some All-Star games and events if you want it. Why do you need an agent? It is true that a player can technically go through the whole pre-draft process without an agent and then eventually negotiate their own contract. Remember, other than yourself, only those that are certified with the NFLPA can talk to and negotiate your contract with the NFL teams. Players like Lamar Jackson on the Baltimore Ravens have gone on this route, but for most players, they want someone else to help them with the daunting pre-draft process that can be stressful and expensive. Not to mention help negotiate their contracts or help them find opportunities if they don't get drafted. Having an agent will allow you to just concentrate on your training and leave all the stressful off-the-field business to your agent. You do football and your agent does business. What to expect from an agent in the pre-draft process? One of the biggest questions is, what do agents normally provide or should provide to a player and the pre-draft process? The biggest necessity that you will need is training for your pro day or combine. You need at least a solid 6 to 8 weeks of training for either one or all of the main scouting events. Most, if not all, agents will help provide you with training, which can be very expensive. Training facilities can cost anywhere between $5,000 to $20,000 or more for a 2-month training period. And this often doesn't include housing, food, or transportation. However, first, you have to figure out if you want to train at school or away at a professional training facility. There are pluses and minuses for both. If you come from a big FBS program or from a Division I school in general, then your school should already be well equipped to handle your necessary pro day training with a qualified strength and conditioning coach. Some schools are actually even better than some low and mid-level professional training facilities. The trainers and coaches at your school are already familiar with you and know your medical history and can easily understand what you need to do to improve. The downside could be that you are the type of player that gets easily distracted from friends and family. Being on campus may be hard for you to get away from these types of distractions, so training at a professional facility might be better for you. However, like I mentioned, this can be very costly if trying to pay out of pocket or even help from your parents. Most agents will help with this necessary cost if you are a legit prospect. Along Along with the actual training, you're going to possibly need housing and of course food while you are training in this facility. Unless you have a good friend or relative near the facility that you can stay with, you're going to need help from an agent. Not to mention the necessary nutrition that is needed for your training. You can't be eating extra value meals and random junk food while you're training to fine-tune your body into being an elite athlete. You need the necessary diet and fuel and even supplements to help you. You might not even know how to cook and prepare proper meals for yourself. Agents will help get you on a meal plan and front the cost for food and supplements, and even have services that will bring already cooked and prepared foods for you. Sometimes you may need transportation to and from the training facilities, and in general just to get around. Your agent will need to provide you with a rental car, or at the very least, coordinate transportation with the training facility for about 2 months. Now, if you're a player that hasn't gotten any NIL money, you may need some weekly allowance to help you with basic expenses. Some agents do provide you with a weekly allowance to help you. Another thing to expect from an agent while you're busy training is for an agent to be able to possibly get you into an all-star game and talk to scouts on your behalf to get help or feedback that you need. So, making sure an agent has the necessary contacts is important. What questions should you ask an agent to help you decide if you should sign with them or not? For starters, what do you provide during the pre-draft process? This is where you find out what agents are willing to invest in, not just time, but money and you as a prospect. Agents are not required to pay for things like training expenses, housing, food, etc., but most established agents will. This also shows how serious an agent is in representing you. Sometimes you may have to settle on an agent that can only pay for some and not all of the expenses. Ask, how many active clients do you currently have? Do you want a large established agency, a small middle of the pack agency, or a very small firm, or perhaps even an independent solo agent representing you? An agency with over 50 NFL clients may be a good fit when it comes to finding marketing and endorsement opportunities and other perks of being with a top agency, but will you be just one of many top athletes that they represent, meaning you might not receive the attention you want or need? A smaller agency or agent may do just as good of a job for you and give you more attention that you want or need. Aside from how many active clients they have, you should always ask how many draft prospects they currently have this year and want to sign. We've seen agents with 20, 30, even upwards of 50 plus draft prospects in one given draft year, which is absolutely absurd. They are basically bulk signing prospects with the hopes of at least 2 or 3 of them getting drafted and signed. So what happens to the other 20 or 30 or 40 plus that don't get drafted or signed? Will that agent actually have the time to commit and find them all an opportunity? Often, those players get placed on the back burner after the draft. The undrafted free agent period at the end of an NFL draft is a crazy and fast-paced process. An agent with too many clients that fall under that category will have a very hard time trying to find them all an opportunity. An important question to ask is how much of a percentage do they take from you from your contract? The NFL max percentage an NFL agent can take is 3%. Some agents will take less, but they can't take more. That percentage is only off of your base salary and any signing bonuses that they negotiate for you. And most importantly, only after you make an active NFL roster during that season. They cannot collect that percentage up front when you sign a contract with a team. They can only get paid when you get paid from the teams. If you get cut after 3 weeks, you only pay your agent 3 weeks worth of your salary. Your agent should also not be receiving payments from you off of your camp money before the season starts. Your agent is also not allowed to receive payments off of your practice squad contract. They can only if they negotiate anything above the minimum amount. You should also ask if the agent is certified with not just the NFL, but the CFLPA as well. If the NFL doesn't doesn't work out for you right away or at all, you may want an agent that can help you with the backup plan with another league such as the Canadian Football League. Their agents need to be certified with their Players Association just like the NFL in order to talk to and negotiate contracts on your behalf. You will find that a lot of agents are only certified with just the NFL and not the CFL. Another good question to ask an agent, especially if they have been certified for a few years, is have you ever been fired from a player? If they tell you no, they haven't been fired by a player and they've been an agent for a few years, then they're probably lying to you. All agents that are actively working hard to sign players and find them contracts eventually get fired. Not all players will make it to the NFL, and so not all agents will get all their players signed to the NFL. It's the nature of the business and common that players move on from agents and vice versa. That brings us to an important question you should ask. What happens when you want to move on from your agent? A lot of agents will make you sign a training and expense addendum. Meaning, if you fire them, then you will have to pay back all the money they spent on your pre-draft process like training, housing, etc. You have total control as to when to fire an agent. It just has to be in the writing and reported to both the NFLPA and your agent. You can fire them after one day if you want. You just might be on the hook for expenses they incur while representing you. It is rare for an agent to waive those expenses. However, you can sign an agreement that states you don't owe them any money if you end up not making it into the NFL at all. You don't want to take the debt with you into your everyday non-football career. Obviously, the longer they have been an agent, they would have had more experience and contacts. However, it doesn't always mean a new agent can't and will not do a good job for you. Ask, how did you hear about me and have you watched any games of me? You can get a good sense of how much an agent really knows about you as a prospect by asking this question. An agent that actually has followed your career and watched some of your games can do a better job for you when talking to scouts and decision making about you. There are some agents that just find you listed on draft boards like Mel Kiper on the NFL media site. They might just know your stats and not really know how you actually play. Always ask yourself, do you want an agent that wants to represent you because he knew you would become a good player? Usually it's those agents that have been in contact with you at the start of the season or even before. Or do you want an agent that contacted you because you are a good player? Those are usually the agents that only heard about you because you did something good this year and recently came out of the woodworks wanting to represent you. When it comes down to it, you will find that a lot of agents say and can provide the same thing. Some can just provide more than others. So it's up to you to figure out who you feel comfortable with and who you feel will actually work hard for you. Will it be a veteran seasoned agent with a good amount of clients? Or will it be a newer agent that is hungry and ready to go to battle for you because he has nothing to lose? Well, either way, I hope you enjoyed and found this video informative. Please support us by liking and smashing that subscribe button. Be on the lookout for more videos covering more topics about agents like agent myths and how to become an agent. And if you want to see more of me, you know what to do. Keep watching Fantasy Draft Girls, where you're guaranteed a score. Merry Christmas.